Dan Strange from Strange Motion, and welcome to our YouTube videos. This is going to be simple stuff of starting you out. Rust repair is on every old hot rod, old restoration, pretty much anything that's 6-7 years old anymore. This is an old 46 Ford pickup truck that we're restoring, going all the way back to original. It's not being hot rodded. Cab corners are a major problem in all these things, especially in the Midwest or northern areas where it's really wet and moist. This one's from Illinois. I know where to grind because I've done a lot of repairs. This is a project that came into the shop in primer, and any self-respecting hot rod shop, restoration shop, or simply any quality repair shop isn't going to go over an old vehicle that somebody else has bodyworked and primed. You never know what's underneath, what kind of materials they used. I've had, years ago I learned this the hard way, that I had vehicles brought into me already in primer, and I go to sand it and put the paint and clear on, and something happened because they used cheap inferior products underneath, and it wrinkled up like somebody poured paint stripper on it. So when they come in here to Strange Motion, we strip it all back down to bare metal so we know what's going on. Well, there's been a lot of things found on this truck, so you have to strip it all down. The bed is brand new. This is the old original cab that somebody has just simply put a patch over the bad area. This, it's hard to see there, but this is, you can feel that there's a ledge right there that you can hit with your finger. This is sticking out, so it is on top of the original material. Tack welded, which is another no-no. You want to butt weld everything. So I'm going to grind this back so you can see it a little bit better. This is a real hot rod shop. We don't have no quiet air compressors. Once I start grinding, the air compressor is going to kick on, and it's going to sound like a helicopter is coming through the building. But this is a real hot rod shop, not a TV studio, so you get to hear all the sounds going on in here. So wear your safety glasses. I'm going to grab one of my grinders here. This is one of my favorite tools. Body grinders, I call them. They're air-powered. I got a few with different cut ears on them because I use them so many times. This has got a grinding wheel on it. Nothing fancy running this. You could probably run these with a 2.5 horse air compressor. I've got a 7.5 here, just an upright. You can buy at any farm supply store. Normal air hoses. And as we go, we'll get to the welders and what I use for welding equipment. That runs from here to here, and they've wrapped it down and basically just barely even tack welded it and filled it full of Bondo. There's a lot of old wives' tales that the body putty or Bondo, the body plastic, is really bad. It's kind of got a bad rap because people, the at-home do-it-yourselfer, doesn't know how to properly do it. So it's made a lot better than it was in the 50s and 60s. There's a lot of technology that's came along in fillers, and you just got to know how to do it. If you use a little bit of it and you don't overuse it, it's fine and it'll last for many years. This repair would not have lasted. They start driving this thing down the road, would vibrate and crack out and get moisture behind this double panel. So we're going to cut this out, but first I'm going to make a couple patterns. Okay, I went and got some stuff. I got my Sharpie. Don't know what it is, but generic markers just don't work. So I got my Sharpie, piece of cardboard, nothing fancy, just a box off of something that came shipping. This is already shaped the proper size. So I'm going to take this shape, beginning and end, the door jamb, the end of the body, and make that shape. Why am I doing this? Well, if I get to cutting and this is totally rotten, sometimes you get cutting and you find more damage and rust than you actually think, and you end up cutting this whole thing off. So I've got the actual shape of the bottom and the dimensions of it. Nothing fancy, no tape measure, and then I'm just going to lay that off to the side. And another thing I like to do beforehand that saves a little bit of time, you can hammer and shape and keep testing and make a wooden buck or whatever, but I like to take a piece of metal. This is a little thicker than I normally use. It was just in the scrap bin. This is actually 16 gauge. I was looking for some 18. I didn't have any. Before you cut that out of the way, it's a good idea to start shaping it a little bit. Just take the metal, bend it around. And there's pretty much a good start to your shape right there. I mean, you're going to cut this, but just in case this cab gets a little flexible, your shape is already kind of started right there. Bend that around just a little bit more. See, pretty good shape right there. So now we'll set that to the side. Mark it. That goes to the front in case we knock it and it gets flipped. So now I'm going to go ahead. This will take a little bit. I'm going to cut this area out and we'll see what we got behind there. And you can see I was cutting away, cutting this off of here, and then I was going to take a hammer and screwdriver and pull this bottom stuff off of here. Well, I don't know if they didn't even weld this at the bottom. I have cut here, here, and here. This cut goes a lot easier because you're one thickness. As I was cutting here, I was going through two. Well, it's not even welded at the bottom. It was just hammered over and then body fillered up. So I'll finish grinding this and cleaning it up. And it looks like there's a patch that the inside metal was done also. You could either cut this out now and then address this, or I'll probably wait because this cab's actually going to come off and get it from the back side here at another time. That's probably how I'll choose to do it, so I'm not working over my head. I'll take the cab and lay it down and get that area here. So right now for this repair, we'll just work on doing this patch right here.